market conditions shifting to mildly bullish in this bull market, seeing some nice support here this last few days in the markets, and we're seeing a nice bounce. Momentum's back up into kind of into that rangeless mode, at least currently. We'll look at some support areas on SPY. Breadth indicator also stuck right there in the middle, and we're seeing increased sentiment that continuing to get more and more bullish with each of these moves. We're seeing buy-sell ratio, which is also showing some strength, popping back up above 1. We're at 1.27 now on the buy-sell ratio, which means anything above 1, now we've got this green line. It's a little bit hard to see right here, but green line is back up above red. If I mouse over this number right here, you can see just slightly 1462 to 1147. So we're seeing some market equilibrium and seeing breadth shifting towards the bullish side of things here. We're also getting additional confirmation with that on the S&P 500, the Dow, the NASDAQ. The only issue here on this, let's look at that S&P 500. This is the 1-year time frame pulling back. So we've got this trend going all the way back here to this most recent high, pulling back on the 1-year time frame to the momentum zone. So on this larger time frame, we could get some support right here, and if we can get some acceleration back to the upside, then we're seeing that. And a little bit shorter term time frame, if we go to that 6-month, which is typically the time frame that I like to use for most setups right here in most analysis, and that momentum zone on 236, we're back up above that. The only issue on these markets right here is that we're still sitting right at this resistance area. Okay, all of this price activity that had been right here, once that broke down, now it could become resistance again. So we'll see if we get any real confirmation strength here. We're seeing that across the board on the Qs as well, some nice strength, but back up into that resistance, and then also the diamonds, the Dow Jones, which is work a little bit stronger, bouncing up above this support area. So you do have some additional support over this length of time now on the Dow. And now this is our bar right here, but we are at resistance. So continued tug of war happening right here over the next, probably this week, and we'll see if we get any follow through or if it starts to weaken and we run back down and play in this zone right here for the next few weeks. If we look at sectors currently, seeing some additional strength here as well. We've got the majority back into hold, a few with some downturns. So we're seeing energy-based materials, which is interesting, as those have been leading for the last 6-8 weeks or so. We may start to see a little bit of a shift or a retracement in those sectors and some potential strength back into some of the core sectors like real estate, healthcare, and some of the others, technology, and potentially some of the hype back into some AI and tech stocks as well. Commodities, we're seeing a little bit of weakening. We're seeing steel prices really strengthen. They had pulled back, finding some support, lots of support around this $70 range, and could be working back towards the upside again. More importantly, though, we've been focusing on gold and oil. Gold showing some continued weakness, but within just an overall uptrend retracement. It's got a little work to do to get back up above that 214 level, which is that 236 level, and also USO, which is the ETF for oil, is continuing to weaken here as well. So that's a good thing for markets, but we are towards the downside on this sell-off with oil. We could start to see some support. There's some areas right here. So we're inside of that range. We could very easily test that 50% retracement. 50% retracement is going to be halfway of this point and this point. If we're coming up this way and we retrace halfway back down again, which is a common retracement zone, we're approaching that area. So we may see some support here in oil. We'll see what ends up happening there. Some muscle stocks to consider and some nice names there, as there always are. Market conditions are improving. So as we get a little bit more bullish, then we can potentially increase that position size as you're adding stocks into a portfolio. Some stocks to look at. GCT, which has been a big mover this last year, really since December, and had a decent retracement, finding some support now. Once again, if we can break up above that, that 38 to 40 range, could see some additional momentum there as well. AFRM, this pattern in this uptrend, deeper retracement all the way back into that 618 range. We go a little bit deeper out here as well in that 1 year time frame, 50% retracement. So this is a little bit deeper retracement and not quite rallied strong enough back into that momentum zone, but sometimes these are early after a pretty deep retracement, solid support at a 50% zone. And if it can get another day or two and hold up above this level, even so, this area right here is interesting for that stock right there. ANF, Abercrombie Fitch, which has been also been a really nice uptrending stock, retracing on this 1 year time frame. So we're seeing this 1 year time frame, some of these stocks and even indices pulling back and finding some support there. That could add some bullishness back into a lot of these stocks. A lot of stocks looking like this. Of course, the market is just a whole bunch of stocks. So this lots of stocks are having this pattern now that they've retraced, starting to gain some momentum back to the upside. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.